shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Mad Matty Fight Talk. First and foremost, roll tide. It's almost that time of year again, baby. Anyway, back to what's going on here. We had a whole weekend of some really fire fights. Really good action. One Championship made their Amazon Prime debut. It seems like all of these platforms are finding one of these streaming platforms to link up with. You got the UFC with ESPN and Disney. Now you got one with Amazon Prime. You got Bellator with Showtime. It's just I'm assuming that's how the lay of the land will be going forward. But regardless, it was One Championship's debut. It was the rematch between the champion Adriano Moraes taking on Demetrious Johnson for the second time. Adriano Moraes is the first man to ever knock out Demetrious Johnson in an MMA fight. They fought last April 7, 2021, where Moraes knocked Demetrious Johnson out with a knee and slept him and became the champ. So defending his title, going against the GOAT of the flyweights, he had his hands full, and it was a really good fight. There was a lot of action. Moraes landed a nasty head kick early, looked like it hurt Johnson a little bit. Johnson landed a nasty elbow that split Moraes open early. It was a very back and forth contest. There was grappling involved. There was nice striking. These guys are very high level, very skilled opponents. And the rule set in One Championship is a little bit more brutal than Bellator and the UFC and PFL. These guys can kick your head on the ground. They can knee your head on the ground. They can do pretty much whatever they want. It's a real dogfight in there. Demetrious Johnson doing what he does best. He put on a little bit of the show for the fans, put his hands behind his back, pulled the Conor McGregor move out. But Demetrious Johnson got the job done in round 4. He ended up landing a nasty knee for himself, knocking out Adriano Moraes. It was deadly. It was very dangerous. He caught him with a nasty left, and then he followed up with a freaking semi-flying knee and put him out cold. Walked away, walked off, knew he was the champ. Demetrious Johnson has the belt back again. And I'm assuming these gentlemen are going to go at it for a third time. I mean, that was a really good fight. The first fight was good. These guys are a very good matchup, and I would love to see them go for the trilogy. I feel they're 1-1. He's the only guy to knock out Demetrious. I feel like they need to run that back. And it was pretty much a back-and-forth fight as well. I mean, Demetrious looked like he was doing a little bit more. He had better control on the ground. He was landing a little bit better strikes, but Moraes hurt him a little bit in that fight before he got knocked out. So I would like to see them run that one back. But shout out to One Championship. That was a hell of a main event. I enjoyed it. Moving on to the BKFC. They just had fights going down tonight, August 27th. It was the championship fight between Christine Ferea taking on Taylor Killer Beast Starling. And she got obliterated. It was Stardust. She got knocked out in 47 seconds. Christina Ferea put those fucking hands on her. If you guys missed that fight, I'm sure you're going to see clips of it running on the internet. But Ferea unloaded a barrage of punches. Starling got knocked out, hanging onto the ropes. Looked like she was crying to the corner. It was insane. She got absolutely destroyed. And the crazy thing is she was in Ferea's face talking mad shit during the weigh-ins, all up in her grill. It looked like it was going to be a very competitive 5-round war. And it turns out it wasn't. Ferea laid it down, showed Starling who the champ is, and beat that ass. It was a 47-second obliteration. It was nasty. Dodson also made his BKFC debut the same night in a 5-round fight against Benoit, who is also a UFC alumni. I mean, both these guys have fought in the UFC, so they're coming over to the BKFC. A lot of these guys from the UFC who are leaving, transition into other organizations. We saw Chad Mendes have a lot of success. Mike Perry also, who had a lot of success. John Dodson does the same. The dude's a very dangerous striker and was a dangerous striker in the UFC. Comes over and absolutely smacks Benoit in the first round. 40-second KO. He looked like he dropped him 2 or 3 times in the first round and ended it with a nasty KO. So shout out to John Dodson making his BKFC debut and getting the job done. These guys are coming over, man, and the UFC fighters or MMA fighters hit hard, and when they get to focus mainly solely on bare knuckle boxing and they focus mainly on the hands and it's just fists, they're used to throwing 4-ounce leather gloves. They got bare knuckles. These guys hit hard. I mean, Benoit, or Benoit, however you say his name, that fool's a UFC fighter too. He is an MMA fighter, so he has heavy hands too, but he just got caught a lot. Dodson looked extremely fast, looked very youthful, and he's going to probably have a very successful career in the BKFC, so I'm excited to watch him fight again as well. Staying on the topic of BKFC, they had a massive fight go down in London between Mike Perry, Mike Platinum Perry, and Michael Venom Page, MVP. That fight was absolutely insane. I got to give Mike Perry a lot more credit than what I do. He is a lot more technical than I thought he was going to be in that fight. He fought very, very smart, and he wasn't baited into just throwing wild. He stayed very technical, very sharp. He dropped Michael Page very early in the fight and hurt him real bad, put him down to a knee. But MVP, being the soldier that he is, got right back up to his feet, and those guys went to absolute war. It was a fucking phenomenal fight. They went the whole 5 rounds. And at the end, I think it was a majority split or a draw or something. Majority draw, something like that. It was definitely a draw. They went to the 6th round, second time ever that's ever happened in the BKFC. And Mike Perry pressed the action a little bit more, and he landed the bigger shots. He looked like he was pressing forward. MVP just looked like he was a little bit more tired. Maybe Mike Perry's just in a better boxing shape, but Mike Perry ended up getting the majority decision in a freaking monster fight, going over to MVP's homeland, home turf, and taking the crowd out of it and putting on a show. Mike Perry has proven to be a freaking monster in the BKFC. He's a huge star already. The guy's hilarious. He's funny as fuck, and he can fight really good. I watched that guy fight live against Paul Felder, and it was a fucking great fight. So shout out to Mike Perry. I mean, MVP looked really good, though. I'm not going to throw this guy under the bus. It was a very close fight. MVP was landing really good shots. He looked like he might have broke a tooth or something on Mike Perry's face, because one side of his face was swollen. There's a lot of blood. I mean, towards the end of the fight, Mike Perry's shots looked like they were starting to pay dividends when MVP's face started swelling up as well. These guys were in there, and they were going for the kill. It was no joke. The most impressive thing is just how technical Mike Perry looked in that fight. It was just crazy to see him fine-tune his boxing skills, not get baited into a nasty strike of MVP. I mean, MVP's a very elusive dude, and the way he strikes, he likes to bait people in and throw hammers at them and slip and the uppercut. You know what I mean? MVP was throwing nice uppercuts towards the end of the fight. They were landing, but Mike Perry just has an iron chin, man. That guy's really a killer in there. But anyway, if you guys missed these fights, man, you need to go check them out. It was phenomenal. One championship is always fun to watch. BKFC, they have the craziest wars. So shout out to both organizations. Shout out to the winners of those fights. Like always, guys, thanks for watching my video. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I drop more content. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an